Again, thank you for jumping in here with me on this Friday morning. And I'm looking out, I see my guest, Heidi Kaye. We'll hear a little bit more from her later. So just a little bit about what's up here at the Pine School. As we look ahead, I always like to take some time to tell you what's coming in our calendar. Of course, tomorrow is our virtual nights, evening of celebration, and I've seen some activity in the silent auction area already. Maybe I'm bidding against a few of you, who knows, but hopefully you're planning on tuning in tomorrow night. You'll see some instructions from our development office about how to view that event. You'll view it on our YouTube channel. It'll just be live streamed here from our green room studio at the Pine School campus, and then we'll be able to bid using your smartphones. And that is our single biggest fundraising event we host at the school. So I thank you in advance for participating and supporting the school. Next week for lower and middle school, we're going to have our Scholastic Book Fair in the lower school library. And Jen McDonough is leading that event. Hopefully parents are seeing some communication coming about how children can purchase books if they wish to. We will have our annual food drive as we lead up to our Thanksgiving holiday. Beth Lettengarver and our middle school service club is taking the lead on that activity. And again, you'll see some reminders coming to bring in food, and we will be donating that. I believe it's going to go to House of Hope this year. On November 11th next week, we will have Veterans Day recognition. For those of you who have been in the Pine School community, you know that we really love to honor our veterans on that special day. And it is our habit to have an all-school assembly. It's really beautiful. We have some of our lower school students singing songs from the military branches and the Star-Spangled Banner. We often have a veteran who will speak to us. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to host that event in its usual incarnation this year, but I think that you'll see some nice alternatives come your way. November 14th is a Saturday. That'll be next Saturday, and Beth Lettengarver, along with a lot of us here supporting her efforts, will host an open house on campus from 10 to 11:30. We are asking people to pre-register for that so that we can, plan groups and make sure that we've got enough staff on hand to comfortably lead people on tours around campus and keep appropriate distance with our guests. But did want to invite people to campus at a time when students wouldn't be here. Our campus is unique, and we love for people who are considering enrolling their students at the Pine School to have a chance to see it. And then, of course, looking a little further ahead, we are inching on towards Thanksgiving break. And I know that our students will be looking forward to a little bit of time away for rest and relaxation, and hopefully, connecting as a family. And then a month from now, on the first Friday in December, we'll host our next virtual coffee. I feel pretty certain I've left some things out. There's probably more I could highlight. This does tend to be a busy time here at Pine. We love to celebrate holidays, and I feel all of us looking for a little bit of normalcy as we enjoy this season of the year. So do stay tuned for holiday fun. I know that we'll have some wonderful things we do for the children here on campus. And we are slowly starting to invite visitors to our campus as we feel it's safe to do so. And so I would invite you all to come enjoy a home basketball or soccer game. Our winter sports seasons are well underway. We've got some fall sports that are wrapping up, but just know that, soccer will be here on campus, basketball in the Pine School gym, and you would be welcome to come and watch those games and just, respect people's space, keep the distance that we need to, and wear masks inside or when you can't be 6 feet away, and we'll just be together as we can. All right. I love to include this little slide here, just a nudge about how to stay connected, because again, I feel that we're not having these typical moments on campus when we would naturally gather together. So it was really nice to see so many of you on campus for conferences. And again, I think that day went well, and that people were comfortable either coming here or meeting remotely, whatever felt right for them. I'll remind you that my colleagues and I would love for you to reach out anytime. When we can't be together, hearing from each other makes a huge difference. And I think I might have mentioned this last time we all gathered, but I definitely feel those moments where we can be better speaking with each other rather than trading texts and emails. I try to constantly be aware of my my own emotional temperament and how I'm navigating just the awkwardness of life these days, and the mild little chronic stress that I know runs there under the surface, no matter what's going on. And it's just good to check in with yourself and to say, this frustration I'm feeling, this point of annoyance, is it time to pick up the phone and have a conversation and just check my story. And I just that's just me, my little public service announcement, I guess. But it's what I say often to the faculty and staff here, just as we try and stay calm and remain positive. There is communication that comes your way. Hopefully you're getting your grade level communication, the nightly news, and also the middle school messenger. I know that lower school homeroom teachers also send out regular updates to parents. And so for any reason you don't feel like you're getting the emails that you should be, please let us know. I'll also encourage you to join the Pine School Facebook group or the Pine Parents group if you haven't already. Those are great little places to get reminders if you happen to be a Facebook user. And then I'll close by this, this slide here and say I really am grateful for the ways that parents have already been supporting the school, especially as we started to slowly again welcome visitors to campus. So I really appreciate the meals that parents have coordinated delivering for faculty and staff. I know that we had many parent drivers help us just as we tried to keep kids socially distanced with some athletic transportation. We had a few parents come to campus and work not with students, but just on their own. They decorated campus for Halloween, and it was so fun to see that. I'm sure we'll have another round for the holidays as they come up, and I really just am so grateful that parents are looking for ways to support us. My big plug right now is that we would love to have some parents, if you're interested, help us in the school store. So the business office has been staffing the school store up until this point, and they can certainly keep doing it, but I know that some parents might have a little fun coming in here one morning a week or every other week and helping out. Our business office is now ready to train parents who might want to volunteer. So shoot me an email, or Kelly Hilton Green, either one of us would be happy to hear from you. And then my next little plug about not being able to be on campus, if you haven't already, I really hope that you will take some time to look at our Flickr account. Robert Ankrum, our Director of Communication and Marketing, does a really wonderful job documenting life here with his camera. And so yesterday, it was outdoor classroom day. We had a lot of outside activities for kids. He's got some wonderful pictures up for that. And I thought I would show you my favorite picture from the petting zoo that we had here on campus. So here is me with a snake. And yeah, this was, it's a python, and it's fully grown. It's only about 3 feet long, but it was very docile and really cool to hold. So so that's me with the snake at the petting zoo. There was a beautiful llama and some goats and chickens and a pig and bunnies. And I had an upper school student tell me today that maybe we should have the petting zoo come back a little bit more regularly, as we navigate the stress of life around school right now. So we'll have to see about that. I would be happy to see them back. All right, so a few updates to offer you all collectively here. You likely saw the news last week about just our update with athletic department leadership. Matt Sofrelli did decide to resign, and I thank him for the timing of that. We have our fall season winding down. Winter is off and running, and we've got some good lead time to staff the coaches that we'll need to for the spring. I'm really grateful to Kelly Hilton Green for being willing to serve as our interim athletic director. People have asked, when will you post that job? When do you plan on searching? What I'd really like to do is just take a breath. Matt did a lot of things here for us on this campus. We're really grateful for his energy and enthusiasm he gave to our athletic department. And I want to make sure that we thoughtfully consider what's going to be best for the school as we move forward. And I imagine taking some time to really be thoughtful about what would be the best way to fill that position, potentially internally, potentially externally, but I'm not in a rush. And I think what we will do is make sure we've got staff support on hand so that Paxton Ellis and Kelly Hilton Green can attend to the details of the athletic department and see us through this year. But if you have any comments or questions about what's important to you, for our athletic department as we look forward, I would just invite that conversation. And again, just hear me express my sincere thanks to Matt Sofarelli and the work he did here for the 5 years he did spend at the Pine School. I'm excited for him to see what happens to be next for him professionally. And of course, many of us here are ready to support him as he decides what's next. So, another little update here. Thank you so much to all of you who took the survey about Pine School, our COVID-19 mitigation strategies. Wow, if I could get that kind of survey participation on a normal day, I would be really excited. We had over 60 employees complete the survey. That's out of a total of about 70. And then 250 parents gave input, which is also tremendous, knowing the response rate I typically get from parents. So thank you for taking the time to do that. I would offer to you that respondents indicated a high level of satisfaction overall with the school's efforts to mitigate the potential transmission of COVID-19. And so what I would like to remind you of is that our efforts here on campus are really intended to prevent transmission in the event we had someone positive come onto campus. And again, we have not had to navigate that situation, and we haven't had to navigate it yet. And I think what I would love to just say to all of you here, and you can spread this word around, COVID-19 is in our community. And what we have seen probably in the last, I would say 3 weeks is more community exposure. So we've had some members of our community who are needing to quarantine because they have been a close contact with someone who's positive for COVID-19 in their own lives away from school. And so I just want to remind you that our best efforts to remain in session and to keep teachers and students on campus, it's really about so much more than what we do here on campus. It's about the choices we make as families and as individuals when we're off campus. And so I see the little trend up. Again, I see more people perhaps coming into contact with people who are positive, and it's going to happen. I'm not kidding myself that we've got some magic magic situation here at the Pine School. But I think we're being dutiful. And again, should we have someone positive on campus, the mitigation strategies we're using, in my mind, it makes me confident that we're not going to get transmission happening in any sort of no serious way. The survey, I had a few people ask me about this, like, why are you surveying people? Are we, going to vote about what we're going to do? We're actually not. As much as, we love a democracy, and boy, are we loving it right now. We're not going to vote about what to do when it comes to public health in the way we support it here on this campus. So Nurse Candace and I are considering where education might be needed. Should there be a place where we would want to maybe change our policies and practices, and we would do that based on medical advice, or maybe there's something we're doing and we can see people fatiguing a little bit, it's getting a little tiresome, and so what we might need to do is have a round of education to really double down and say, this is why we're doing this is why we have this policy in place, and we really just need to adhere to it and stay the course so that we can all stay healthy and stay in school. I mean, that's the goal, right? We're here to educate students. We happen to believe in our core that that's better when it can happen in person in a connected way with a caring educator. And so the healthier we can stay, the better it is for everyone. But I wouldn't want you to worry that that anything there is happening in any hasty way. Certainly on my mind are the number of people we're sure to see over the holidays that we might not normally see. Perhaps those are some areas, though, where you might make some personal choices to limit the number of people you see. I know we're going to have college students coming home for break and et cetera and so forth. So this is certainly, a time to sort of stay the course. But Nurse Candace and I will communicate more about that in the coming weeks. She's not here right now. She's out of town for a little bit, and we look forward to circling the wagons and seeing what's next as the days and weeks come. The next little update I want to offer is Pine at Home and absences. Again, with those community members, some of whom who are needing to quarantine, I'm really happy to know that we have Pine at Home. It's working well for students who need to be away from campus for a little while, or perhaps have an unusual family situation that means they can't be here. And so again, happy to support those Pine at Home students. I would just want to offer to you, though, that it might be okay, you know, depending on what's going on, for a child just to be absent. If you've got something happening in your family life, or if your child really just is not feeling well, it's okay to be absent. I think there are some cases where, you know, we've got students who maybe feel obligated, or families who feel obligated to get their kids connected online. And I just, you know, want to remind you that students were absent before this year. And if that's the right thing to do, by all means. It also is maybe something to think about just in terms of the notice you're able to give teachers. For us to really plan as educators and have the materials available and the class oriented in a way that would make it accessible for students in class and at home. Our teachers here, they want to do better than just turn the meat on. So, if you've got older kids and they're like being a little like, oh, maybe I won't go to school today, get them here unless there's a really compelling reason for them not to come to campus. And then you could say, all right, you're not going to campus, or you're going to be pine at home, or are you just going to be absent? And please communicate that information with our attendance line. So that's a little plug from Kelly Hilton Green and our other division leaders. Just if you can get that news called in to the school, that's really the best thing to do, to leave a voicemail. So we know that either Teresa Hampton or Michelle Curto are going to know where your child is, and we can plan here at school. I'll also give you a little update or comment about the email you received a couple days ago. At least middle and upper school parents did. It doesn't affect lower school families, so they didn't get it. But we are going to make a change to our December calendar. So in the past, we have taken the last 3.5, 4 days in December to have scheduled timed exams for our upper school students. And we've seen that evolve a little bit over the last couple of years. Last year, instead of administering those exams by subject, we actually administered them in classes. So, we scheduled them just in classrooms. Our gym was getting refinished, and so we didn't have a big open space to put a bunch of kids in all at once. And even just making that change, just keeping kids in their classrooms where they have been learning all year, provided a little more comfort for them through that time period, and also gave teachers a little bit of flexibility to say, okay, I've got my class here with me for 2 hours. Is there something different I might want to do to assess them that I wasn't able to do when they were all, in a big room together? So looking at some of the things that were positive about last year, looking at what the impact was from this past spring of not having exams, and did that still leave teachers in a place where they felt like they could comfortably and confidently assess what students had learned and reflect that in a cumulative grade. We're now in a place where we've decided as a faculty that this December we're just going to keep teaching. We started upper school 5 days late. I don't know if you all remember that, but we did lose out some instructional time because of staggering our start time here at Pine this year. And the faculty have decided that really it would be best for our students and best for what we're trying to promote and accomplish here to just keep teaching until winter break starts. And winter break will still start at that midday mark on Thursday, December 17th, but we'll just keep going with our rotation for those 3 full days earlier that week instead of scheduling exams. I know some teachers will still want to give traditional tests. I know some teachers will take this opportunity to perhaps have a lab practical or have students write a final paper. So I think we'll see a wider variety in assessments this winter. And what we will do on our end is look carefully at the calendar and make sure that we're creating a situation that is less stressful for students and not really just prolonging the exam period. So already that's a message that faculty have heard loud and clear from me. And we're going to, navigate through it, but I'm excited. I'm excited for the way that I think this is going to really support students in their learning and really having the opportunity to show what they know and to have teachers assess in a way that feels more authentic to their course rather than, have it dictated that you've got to give a 2-hour final and that's what we're expecting and it's going to count for 20% of the kid's grade. A lot about that I think is more rigid than I ultimately want us to be in our academic program. All right, let's see what I've got next. I think I might be finished. I'm looking out to my guest, Heidi Kaye here, and I think that it is time to pass the reins to her. So Heidi, I'm going to mute myself and give you the microphone and just let me know when you need me to advance the slides. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you so much. And good morning, everyone. Thank you for attending this morning. One of the things that I'm missing most about this year is really connecting personally with our families. I think the Pine School has such an amazing family connection. The feeling that we're all in this together, working together for the success and happiness of our students. And so if you're new to Pine School, you might not know that in the past, we often had Friday morning coffees where parents were always invited in and listening to what's going on around campus and learning about different programs that we offer. And so it's so great to be able to do this virtually. Thanks for joining us. And I'm glad to have the opportunity to speak with everyone today because I've had a lot of parents asking what my role is here as a counselor and also what is our school counseling program all about. And I love to share that with people because it has changed so much from when I was younger, when we were guidance counselors doing a variety of different things. Now we've changed to a comprehensive school counseling program that really reaches all students. So I wanted to let you all know about it because more than likely definitely your child has been participating in our school counseling program. Just to tell a little bit about me, it is my 6th year as the Pine School Director of School Counseling and somehow my 25th year as a school counselor, which is kind of absurd, but it is truly my passion to help students navigate their social and emotional well-being, as we all know how tightly connected it is to their academic performance. You know, when we all have things that we're dealing with socially or emotionally, stress or anxiety, personal things that we're going through, it really does affect how we perform each day. So it's my goal to help students navigate their mental health and well-being so that they can perform at their level to their potential academically. Our comprehensive school counseling program is modeled after the American School Counseling Association program, which includes large group, small group, and individual services, teacher support, and then family support as well. So I'm going to try to touch on all of these briefly during this morning's presentation, and then I look forward to doing smaller division meetings where I can really speak with you on a more personal level and help provide support that you might be dealing with your individual students. So let's hop over to the next slide. And our Pine School mission statement and honor code really reflects how important character development is to the Pine School. So that's why it was important when I joined the staff, the faculty back in 2015, that we come up with this comprehensive program to do some character education and development in all grade levels. And one thing I love is that we are the K-12 family community where the students work together. Each month we highlight a different positive character trait. This month it happens to be gratitude, which ties in nicely with Thanksgiving. Last month there was respect and responsibility. And school-wide, we implement character building activities in all grade levels. And what I love is watching the older students act as role models and even going into lower school community meetings and teaching the younger students about respect and responsibility and other really important parts of our honor code. Because how can we expect the students to follow the honor code about the values of respect, responsibility, honesty, if we're not really empowering them to know how to do that? So it's fun to see all of the students working together through buddy activities and other fun programming to really enhance their character. And monthly, we do recognize Knights of Character. So each grade level nominates one student who's really been exemplary in demonstrating that month's character trait. And we can see on the next slide, just a photo of, this was last year's, that they were the Gratitude Knight of Character recipients. And we do this during community meetings so we could recognize students in front of their peers all the way up to 12th grade. It never gets old. And we can hop to the next one. So this is another question I get commonly asked, like, what do you work with my students, my children on or about? And so at the large group level, I do go into classrooms and do some lessons on character building. And as we break down into division, here are some really common themes that students at these grade levels are commonly dealing with. And either I'll go into the classroom and maybe work on social skills, sharing, expressing feelings appropriately in K1 and 2, or I do meet with students individually who might be struggling in these areas. And this isn't limited to these topics. My services aren't limited to these topics, but these are a lot of common areas at the various divisions. Moving to middle school with social skills and stress management and organizational skills, as now they are trying to manage 6 different classes and homework and those responsibilities that come with being a middle schooler. And then in high school, more of the same. And then we add the college and career counseling. And we touch on education about substance use and abuse. And in all levels for all of our students and families, I'm also here to lend support to students who are going through family challenges as well. I offer small group interactions and do groups with children who may have lost a loved one recently or are going through family separation, so that students who find comfort in being with other students who are going through similar experiences really helps them through. And to be able to navigate these social emotional components, as I said earlier, to then be able to go back to the classroom and focus on what's important in the learning part of their day. We really find that to help students find balance among all these different areas is really key. So then we can hop to the next one. And here's a little bit about special programming from the counseling department. This is one of my favorite photos. This is our Pink Shirt Day, which is part of our bully prevention program. And part of our parent and student handbook includes information about our anti-bullying policy, which we really strive to promote kindness and inclusion and tolerance of all, and anti-bullying. And so for 1 week in February, we have a lot of school-wide activities to promote this kindness and caring connection among our whole school community. So Pink Shirt Day, students are allowed to forego wearing their school uniforms and stand up together against bullying. And we also have special programs which I lead through a freshman seminar and senior seminar, where we invite in guest speakers or guest yogis who help our students with stress and anxiety management. We do yoga at all grade levels from kindergarten on up, and mindful meditation. We might have like 5 minutes of meditation in the classroom just to show students that that's one way to regulate their emotions and to bring calm if they're experiencing test anxiety or everyday feelings of overwhelm, maybe if they have a lot of academic coursework and big games coming up athletically, or our musical performances. Sometimes it's helpful to, it's helpful to empower the students to be able to calm and deal with their heavy workloads in an appropriate way to be able to navigate all of their responsibilities. So let's see, hopping over to the next thing. This is my newest little project. Right next to my counseling office, I've created a self-help center. This is basically for the middle and upper school students, where they may not want to meet and open up about some struggles they may be experiencing, but some of them are so common that I have some materials for them that they can just walk by and grab. One is about self-motivation, how to stay motivated throughout the year. One is how to sleep well, because sleep is such an important part of our students' day, and they don't realize how important it is when they're up late on their social media or technology devices. These are tips that help them get a healthy sleep and eat well. And there's some helpful tips on this little board about dealing with anxiety during COVID-19 and those changes, and also how to get help for a friend who might be struggling emotionally. Because a lot of students come to my office saying, I have a friend who may have some eating issues, or is really overwhelmed, or is having trouble socially fitting in. So here's a great helpful resources for them, either for themselves or to share with others, all about self-care. And as I said, once they take care of these emotional pieces, they're so much better equipped to deal with their day academically. All right, and our next slide is about the parent piece. I am always available for all parents, whether it's just to touch base. If you're curious to know, is what my child experiencing normal? Should they be staying up till midnight? Or I'm feeling they're having too much homework, or they're freaking out. They study for a test and I see that they're prepared, and yet they get there and they have meltdowns. And what do I do about that? All of these are so common and so typical. And I'm here to help you navigate these things and tell you what help and support we can give. We also offer, throughout a typical year, we offer a lot of parent education workshops. We invite in guest speakers, and also offer just community building parent time together. And in the past, we've had guest speakers on drug and alcohol, on internet safety, on raising confident children. And this year we are planning to continue to do this, first virtually. We're trying to get some speakers on, and hopefully you can join us as you have today. And we're also looking forward to, in the near future, breaking down into division-specific workshops, and welcome your participation and input during those. And another thing that I can do is offer referrals to local psychologists and psychiatrists. Some of you want to know, how do I get my child tested for gifted? If you think that they're really excelling academically and you want them to be challenged further, I can refer you to psychologists for that kind of testing, for psychoeducational testing, to tell us if your child may be struggling with ADHD or a learning processing disorder. It is just our goal to be able to support your children, our students, to best meet their needs. And if that's by offering additional academic or emotional or social support, that's what we're here to do. So I'm happy to provide referrals to outside counseling support if that would be the fit for your family. Let's see what's next. Okay, so now we're toward the end. If there's any questions or concerns that you may have, if I can help you about your family or individual student situation, please don't hesitate to reach out through email. I'm happy to set up a virtual conference with you or involve teachers. Please don't be a stranger, stay connected, and I thank you all for tuning in today.
All right, thank you so much, Heidi. So I stopped sharing and I can see now the tic-tac-toe board of all of your screens again. I'm gonna go ahead and stop recording.